Hello friends and family of YouTube, it is Travis again, and today we're actually at West Prong Trail. But before we get started, let me give you some directions on how to get here, and those are coming up right now. If you're driving from the Maryville-Alcoa area, you will pass through the city of Townsend. When you reach the Townsend Y, turn right going towards Cades Cove. You'll drive less than 30 seconds and then you'll make a left going back towards Tremont Institute. It's less than a 5-minute drive and you will make a right at this point. This is located directly across the street from the Tremont Institute entrance. Alright, so as you can tell, there are several parking spaces here, but sometimes this one will get crowded, but I'll just show you. I don't know if we'll be able to see it from here or not, but just down from here there is an additional parking area, so that's the overflow lot. So for some reason, if you get up here and you can't get a space, you can park down there and just walk right up, so pretty convenient. But let's head over here to where the trailhead actually starts. And the trailhead actually begins just right up here. Alright, so welcome back. So as I mentioned, we're going to be hiking West Prong Trail today over to campsite 18, and then we'll go up a little bit farther to where it connects with Bote Mountain. It's close to about 5.5 miles round trip, so pretty decent little trek. But let me show you here real quick where we started. So that is the trailhead, and as you come up through here, you're gonna see a little pathway that goes up to the right. That's I believe that's just a little spot that goes up here not too far. We'll see it here in a minute. But we want to follow this West Prong Trail. Don't know if you can see it with the sign being wet, but the arrow is pointing over here to the left. So we're going to go this direction. So it came a major storm last night. Lots of rain and heavy winds. We were actually under a tornado warning for several hours. Luckily, our area did not get hit, but I think some of the surrounding areas definitely had some damage, so hopefully everyone's okay from that. But the roads, they closed down a lot of the roads about 6 o'clock last night. So from the Townsend Y over to the Sugarlands Visitor Center, that's closed, so none of those trails were available today. And then from Gatlinburg over to North Carolina, they shut that road down as well, just due to the high winds and the possibility of trees falling across the road. And where I came in, actually through Townsend this morning, there'd been a couple of trees that were down and they had cleared them off, thank goodness. But I had originally planned to hike this trail anyway, so that worked out. But we'll continue on up here and I'll show you some more of the trail itself. So this will give you an idea of some of the damage from some storms in the past. This is not from last night's storm, as you can tell, but you can see the number of trees that are down, and there's several more up here. I'll show you these as well. As you can see, these trees have been completely uprooted. Now these were here, I think, the last time I hiked this trail, but it gives you an idea of when you're up here and a storm blows through with high winds and rain. I mean, the rain just loosens the soil and the wind just topples these trees. So definitely can be a dangerous situation. So you gotta really pay attention to what the weather's gonna be and try not to get caught in this. But the Park Service does a tremendous job on trying to keep these trails cleared off and maintained. I don't think people fully understand how much work is involved just to keep these things passable for hikers like myself to be able to come up here and actually enjoy this. So anyway, just want to give you an idea of what that looks like. All right, so I misspoke earlier when I said that little side trail went off up through here. I thought that was the one where they have classes up here throughout the spring, summer, and fall at the Tremont Institute, and I've seen them bring like groups of students up through here, and it's more like, you know, nature study. They're showing the different types of animals and plants, and I think that does continue on up through there, but I've never noticed this before. I'm trying to get a good shot between that fork there and the tree, but it looks like there's actually a little cemetery back through there, and I have never noticed that before. So if I can remember when I come back, I'll try to swing up by there and we'll take a look at it. But I didn't know that was there. So I mean, I've hiked this trail probably 3 or 4 times and never noticed it, but usually it's later in the year and there's a lot of leaves and stuff on the trees, so you don't have as good a visibility. But it does look like that little path continues on up through here. And right down through here is where I was talking about. I've seen some of the classes before down there next to where you can see that little cleared out area, and there's some runoff through there. But they'll bring the group of students up here and teach them about nature and what type of plant life and animal life is here in the Smoky. So it's pretty cool. I've never been a part of it, but I've seen the classes going on when I've hiked this in the past. And as you can see, there's some more trees down. Nothing major, but I mean, this is me coming up here fresh after a storm, so I don't know what I'm gonna run into. Hopefully there won't be any, but my guess is we will have some trees down at some point. All right, so here's a spot for the runoff. And usually there's not really anything flowing here. I don't know if you can see it back in the distance or not, but it almost looks like a little waterfall based on the amount of rain that we had last night and the water flowing down through here, which that's pretty cool. So we may come across some more of those spots. Normally when I've hiked this in the past, it's been pretty dry, so you don't see that. Oh, and here's this other path. This is where I thought they connected. I'll show you here in just a second. So here's a little bit more runoff as well. But this little path here, this is where I thought that it connected down through there. But when we get done, I'll try to remember to swing back by that cemetery. I didn't even know that it was there. But as you can see, West Prong will continue to the left and also up to campsite 18. And that campsite is pretty cool because it has a pretty significant stream flowing through it, which is really nice. But I'll show you that here shortly. And you can see the sun starting to come up over the mountaintop in the background. I'm getting up here to this corner. I thought this was going to be a good view. It's been a little while since I've hiked this trail, so I can't really remember. Look here. So you got a little bit of a view. Now probably wouldn't be able to see much once the leaves get back on the trees here in probably another month or so. This will all be solid green. You won't be able to see anything, but the visibility right now is pretty good. Alright, so we'll continue on up the trail here. So I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the video when I was showing the parking area down there, but there was a red car that looks like it has been parked there overnight based on the condensation from the rain on the windows. But man, I hope that's not somebody that camped out here at campsite 18 last night, because that would have been brutal with the weather. I mean, it was crazy with the wind and the rain. So I guess we'll find out here in a little bit when we get over there. See if anybody did actually camp through that. There's another down tree. I think this one was down the last time I came up here, but I mean, look at the size of that root structure. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. I mean, you imagine being up here in a storm and a tree that size being blown over, and what kind of force it would take to do that. But there's another one, a third one up on the hill. So yeah, can definitely be dangerous up here if you get caught out in it. And that's why I'm a little curious to see if somebody did camp up here last night, because if they did, whoo, gosh, I bet that was crazy scary. But I'll let you know here shortly when we get up there. Well, I failed to mention that the temperature this morning is around 60 degrees. It's only going to get a little warmer today, mid 60s. But with the rain last night, feels like it's a little humid. So I was able to shed my winter jacket, but I do have a small raincoat in my backpack, because they were calling for another chance of rain showers this morning. But right now, looks like I might be okay. But still got long sleeves on just in case. But oh, let me swing around here and show you this. It's a pretty cool rock formation. Got some water dripping off of it, and there might be another little water crossing up here. Not much of one. But it's something. Be interesting to see. I know there's a pretty decent creek crossing right before we get up here to the campsite, and then when we get there to the campsite itself, like a major stream. I'm not going to call it a river, but man, it's a pretty big stream, and my guess is it's going to be flowing pretty good today. So anyway, there's another view from here. But we will continue on. Alright, so I don't recall this sign being here, but it basically just says West Prong is what we're on right now. Go left or right, and we're going to continue to the left, and then campsite 18. But I'm trying to figure out why, like, I don't think there's another trail that connects here, so I'm not 100% sure why that's there. However, there does seem to be a little trail that runs right down through there. So maybe that's what it's for. I don't know. I've never been down through that. But maybe that goes back down and connects to one of those other smaller trails that I mentioned earlier. I don't know if I've got enough gas in the tank to find out today or not, but I don't know. We'll see. I know you can't see them, but there's a couple of deer. I just caught them out of the corner of my eye, moving through the woods up here. I don't think we're going to be able to see them. Keep recording just in case, though. You never know when there's some more that's going to cross the trail. Had that happen. Staring at me right there. There's two of them. Oh, I scared them. Oh gosh, there's four of them. Didn't mean to scare them. So that's always cool to see some deer when you're out on the trail. That's another reason I try to get up here first, so I have the opportunity to see any wildlife before somebody comes through and scares them off, unfortunately, like I just did. But they blend in with the trees so well, they are difficult to see. All right, well, hey, I saw a few turkeys on the drive in and then seen some deer. I know I'm not going to see a bear today because it's still kind of early for them to be out, but man, if we could see one, that would make for an awesome hike today. And here's another little water crossing. And I know you're thinking, why in the heck are you showing me these? Well, the reason why is, when I've hiked this in the past, it's always been dry. And so you don't ever really get to see the water flowing. But right now, wow, look at that. So you got a ton of these that will flow off into the main streams and then finally off into the river. And as I was driving up today, the river levels were fairly high, but this is the reason why. You've got just a ton of these runoffs all going to the same spot. But anyway, like I said, normally when I've hiked this in the past, it's always been dry, so you kind of see where you think there would be some water, but I've never been able to see it. So it's just pretty cool to see it in action, and you can see the water flowing all the way down through there. But anyway, we will continue on up here. Hopefully I'll get to show you the main creek itself and then that one stream, and you'll be able to see a big difference. Here is another pretty decent view. You can see where the sun's starting to hit the mountaintop in the background. And those clouds actually make it look like there's a taller mountain behind it, but that's not. The white piece is actually the clouds up in the sky. But a pretty good view nonetheless. I think we got a decent view here too. So yeah, that's not bad. But I don't know if you can tell or not. Some clouds moving in from that direction. So we might actually get another rain shower or two, but hoping to be done with this trail before then. Yeah, that's pretty awesome view. This spring and summer you really won't be able to see it because the leaves on the trees here will block it, but right now got pretty decent visibility. Alright, so this is the larger creek that I had mentioned that we got to get across, and normally it's not too horrible, but you can tell the water levels are definitely a little higher than normal with the rain. It's still a pretty awesome sight. So let me go up here and show you this real quick. If you make it this far, at least come right up here. I always think these are kind of awesome to look at, but it's just my opinion. I'm probably not going to be able to see it too well, but I'm going to try to get a good view here of the little waterfall up above us. Quite a bit of water right through here. So this is definitely a nice little stream. And this one does run all year round. But anyway, just thought I'd show you that. Hear the crows off in the distance. They apparently don't like me being up here this morning. So anyway, let's head back over here and we'll cross this. Hopefully we will. See if we can do it without falling in the water. not too horrible. Made it across. I mean, I do have waterproof boots on, but that water's deep enough it would have went over the top of them. So, all right, but we're right here. The campsite's just ahead. All right, so once you cross that creek, I mean, it's less than a 2-minute walk to get down here to the campsite. So we are very, very close. All right, so we can take the main trail down. I'm just going to shoot down through here real quick to kind of show you this first area. So there's the creek that we crossed just a minute ago, and it flows down through here. And if you'll see this is the set of cables where you can put your food up at night so that the bears don't get a hold of it. And then we're going to head on over here. All right, so this would be the main campsite for this area, and it does require a permit, so you have to go online and get your permit in advance. I think it's like $4, so it's not much. But there's the fire pit, and then you're right here next to this is the stream that I was telling you about. And I mean, the water is flowing pretty good today based on the recent rainfall last night. All right, so that campsite that we were just at, that must be B based on the signage. And then campsite C is right up here. I'll show you that while we're here. So here's this one. It's got its own fire pit. And then the main stream is over there. Then there's a small creek back here on this side. And then it's got its own set of cables that you can put your food up. I kind of like this one back here just because it's by itself. But let's head back down and we'll go across the wooden bridge and I'll show you the campsite A. Alright, so we're back down here at the main campsite. But see, you're right here at the main trail with that one, which, I mean, it's okay, but you'd have maybe other campers and hikers going by. So I like the other one, it's a little bit more secluded. But we'll go across this, and this is probably one of the largest wooden bridges like this that I've come across. It's a nice one. There's the view upstream. There's the view downstream. We'll continue on. I want to show you this other campsite real quick, assuming there's nobody down there. So the trail up to Bote Mountain goes up that direction, but we're gonna swing down here and look at campsite A, assuming there's nobody down here. So campsite A, right back through here. I mean, you're right here next to the stream. Another shot of the water, and this one has its own set of cables also. Put your food up to keep it away from the bears, and then it should have its own fire ring back here too, which it does. So it looks like a tree had fallen and been chopped up, so there's plenty of places now to sit around the campfire. But I think I'm gonna have to change my mind. I think I actually prefer this one. And uh-oh, somebody lost their fork. They're gonna be looking for that. But anyway, I think I prefer this one back here better than the campsite. I think it was C up there. That'd probably be my second choice. So campsite A be first, just because it's kind of back here and secluded. But yeah, pretty awesome little area. But let's head on up here so we can climb the hill up to Bote Mountain. All right, so just for reference, campsite A is down there on that side. B and C are across the wooden bridge, and I just noticed there's another fire ring or fire pit, whatever you want to call it, right up here as well. So technically there's a fourth campsite. I don't see any cables though to hang your food up, so this might be more of an unofficial one. But still, if for some reason you got up here and it was crowded, even though you got a permit, there's still some extra room up here where you could camp if you needed to, but you'd have to use one of the other cable systems to put your food. But anyway, just want to let you know there is a fourth spot up here that you could camp if you needed to. Well, the good news is nobody camped at this campsite overnight with the storms, which is good news. So glad nobody was here, because that was kind of a scary situation, and it is starting to cloud up a little bit. So let's get up here to Bote Mountain and get this thing knocked out and hopefully get back to the truck before the weather changes. Oh, there's a little area over here with some runoff. That's pretty cool. Like I said, normally when I've hiked this, it's been fairly dry. So seeing some water flowing in some spots that I don't normally get to see is pretty neat. Here's a pretty decent view as we head up to Bote Mountain. So the trail from campsite 18 up to Bote Mountain, I mean, it's uphill the entire way. So unless you just really want to go over to the end of this just to say that you did it, and maybe mark it off your list of trails completed, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. I think campsite 18 is by far the best section of that whole trail. So anyway, but I am going to take you up here and show you what that intersection looks like so that you are aware in case you do decide to hike it. All right, so here we are. That's where we just came from, West Prong Trail. 0.6 of a mile to campsite 18, and then 2.7 to get back to Tremont Road where we started. And this is Bote Mountain Trail. So 1.2 miles to get back down to the Trailhead, which is Laurel Creek Road. You go up another 3/10 of a mile to get to Finley Cane. And then beyond that is Lead Cove, which is another intersection. And then if you go 5.7 miles, you're up at the Appalachian Trail. So we are definitely not doing that today, but I did want to give you a shot here of what this intersection looks like. So that's the way back down to the Trailhead at Bote Mountain. That's where we just came from, and there's a view of the mountains in the background, and as you can tell, it's starting to get a little cloudy. So hopefully we'll get this wrapped up soon, and then we take that on up to the AT, but we're not doing that today. And I will say that little section of trail there puts the word mountain in Bote Mountain, because that's a trek. That's probably the hardest part of the whole trail. So I would stop at campsite 18, just to be honest, because that's by far the best site anyway. But I did want to bring you up here and show you what this intersection looked like. So we'll head back out now. All right, so I'm back down here at this point of the trail, so not too much farther before we get back to the beginning of the trailhead. But I'm wondering if this trail here breaks off and circles around and meets back up where I pointed off that other one earlier this morning. So I'm gonna at least go down here a little ways and see if it butts up against each other. If not, I guess I'll be hiking back and turning around, but let's go check it out and see where this goes. Alright, so it looks like the path continues on. I mean, it's basically going in the same direction we need to go. But we do have to go across this, whoa, slick. Very, very slick. Across this little crossing here. And we'll continue to follow the path. I hope there's one and it just doesn't dead end. We'll find out. Alright, so it definitely continues on. And this is actually a pretty decent stream down through here. I didn't realize it opened up like this. But like the main path is right up there. And so we're just down here a little bit farther, but I really am hoping this comes out where we need it to be. Alright, well it sure does come out here to the cemetery, which I did not know until just today that this actually existed. So there's a little log bench to come sit, and then an old gate here, give you an idea. But I had no idea this was up here. Unbelievable. Alright, and then from here, we're just going to follow this down, and I assume this is where it comes back out. Where we saw the trail split earlier this morning. I think I can see the old Mazda down there, so we're close. I walked through the cemetery. I didn't film any of it, but I walked through it real quick. And some of them are just like really old stones for markers. And then there were several headstones from like the 1800s. And then there was one on there as recently as like 2016. So Definitely still using that cemetery. I just did not know that that it existed. I mean, that's just crazy. I've never noticed it before. And this is at the beginning of the trailhead. And this is where I saw that it broke off. I just didn't know it went up there to the cemetery. I thought it was a place that they used to take the kids up there and show them about nature. I've seen it at some other spots, and I thought that was one of them. So we're back here at that West Prong, that's where we went earlier this morning. All right, so that was West Prong Trail over to campsite 18, and then we went on up to where it connects to Bote Mountain. It's about 5.5 miles round trip. Probably take less than 3 hours depending on how fast you walk, but I don't know if I would recommend going all the way up to Bote Mountain, but I would probably stop here at campsite 18 just because you've got an awesome view here of the water. You've got the wooden bridge. It's just tough to beat. So anyway, I would highly recommend this trail if you are in the area and you get the opportunity to hike it. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. I'd also go ahead and ask that you hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. It'll just give you a notification the next time I publish another video. But until next time, just keep walking.